on a journey from field to fork.
By 2050, there are expected to be 10 billion people on the planet. How to feed everyone is a profound question for the whole world and is set to transform farming in the decades ahead.
You feel like you are part of the change that could transform the way people eat.
From preserving water, the lifeblood that feeds the crops,
We've increased our water use efficiency by over 33% in the 20 years.
to regenerating the very soil they grow in.
This is a liquid fermenter that allows us to scale just a little bit of microbes into a lot of microbes.
From sustainable and safe food
Welcome to the largest vertical farm in the world.
to protecting the environment and reducing waste.
It's an amazing feeling to see that you can contribute to something that will change the world.
To explore how innovation and modern agriculture are leading the way.
It's fundamentally a game changer for farmers around the world.
To reform our land and diet and connecting farmer to consumer. In this episode, we explore how farmers and producers are embracing cutting-edge technology to help them grow better food in a more economical, safer, and less wasteful manner.
Welcome to Follow the Food. As demand for food has increased, technology has played an important role, helping production and efficiency on farms, bringing benefits to farmers and consumers alike.
In the 1930s, one American farmer produced enough agricultural product to feed 4 people. Fast forward 40 years, and that number rises from 4 people to 73. Fast forward again through 80 years of agricultural and bioscience innovation, and one farmer now produces enough food to feed 155 people. Now, in the digital age, as we witness huge advances in artificial intelligence, robotics, and data analytics, will technology play an even more important role with farming, revolutionizing the industry as we know it? To find out what digital agriculture in the future might look like and how it will be integrated into existing farming methods, I've come to meet Teddy Bekele. As the Chief Technology Officer for leading ag tech and IT organization Land O'Lakes, it's his job to develop and implement new technology solutions. Teddy's keen to start my education with a demonstration of how virtual reality could have a place on the farm.
So you can see through the device itself. So you want to put this on, maybe it's right now when it's snowing outside, and we want to talk about what are we going to do in season, when the crop's coming out of the ground, when to apply nitrogen, when to apply fertilizer. That gives you the ability to at least do this without actually having to be in the field.
Can I see how it works?
You can absolutely try it, please
Okay.
do.
Oh, okay, I see the table.
See the table, yep.
And now I
And
want
then
to
you
make
want
it
to look at the,
rain.
you see the cursor thing right there,
Oh,
the
yep.
white, that's what you want to be on top of the clouds.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. And it's raining. Now you can walk up to the plant.
And now I'm
So you
seeing...
get closer. So now you can to see how nitrogen uptake is happening in the plant. Now, one of the things you could do is go back to one of the plants to the right. And we can pinch that, and what we'll do is it'll bring up that plant specifically, and we'd go into the details of that specific plant. And you could do it while standing outside, looking at the real plant.
Really incredible. What's amazing about this is it's really neat right now. It's still a little crude, but you can see what it could be. But this is the beginning of something really, really neat.
Exactly.
While the VR application on display here is still very new and at the research stage, Teddy wants to show me how a much more recognizable tech is also offering new scope in the fields.
Are these being used all over the place right now?
Yeah, these are used heavily in farming. Now you can scout with the drone without having to go out to the field. There's also the other aspect where they're doing a lot of research around, could this thing do it by itself? So could I just be sitting at my house and say, I want these 3 fields flown, and maybe there's an automated drone that sits there and goes up and takes pictures of fields, comes back and sends the information back. So this is the picture of an answer plot, which is one of our 200 research plots throughout the country. You can actually create a 3D model from the picture. It's almost as if we're on the drone itself, looking at these pictures, and then now we can, again, zoom into some specific spots.
You mean you can see right away something's going on right there?
by looking at the picture, we can figure out what it is, or
Right.
at least, if not, we can
Send
at least
someone out there.
send someone to that spot specifically and even take a snapshot of that and make some notes.
So there can be a point in time in the future where you say, go look for X disease, and the camera scans the field, finds it, and then zooms in and takes a picture?
Exactly, or vice versa. It takes the picture and then sends back a signal saying, I recognize something and this is the disease itself.
Huh.
So that could be, I
It's
think
an
that's
alert
that's
system suddenly,
what,
too.
Absolutely.
How many of agriculture's problems can technology change, right? We can't change the weather.
We cannot change the weather, but we can try to figure out what to do once we get the weather that we've received, and how do we play our hands from there. So whether it's we get a wet year or a dry year, what are the right seeds to select, and how do we know which one is the right choice for my field? These are all those types of things that historically have been done more in intuition, but I think now technology is coming in and helping optimize those decisions a bit more. The machine is able to now crunch more information and crunch more data and present you with options that you may not have thought possible before.
Do you foresee a time where farmers won't need to use their intuition at all?
I think the person is still required there. The person is still making the key decision. The technology is there to augment the decision they're making and optimizing their decision.
Agriculture was something maybe your grandfather did or your parents did. It looked hard. And now, because of technology, agriculture is suddenly sexy to a lot of younger people now.
Absolutely.
You see that?
I do see that quite a bit. There's a lot of grandkids coming back to the farm, and as their grandparents are exiting the business, obviously they come with the technology embedded in them. They're digital natives, so they want to use tablets, they want to use models, they want to be able to use a dashboard. So they're always pushing us now. I can see that new trend of new generation of farmer coming in, pushing us to those next levels. So I think that's super exciting.
To get a sense of what impact these digital natives are already having on the industry, Michelle Fleury has traveled to New York State in the U.S. to visit an exciting new startup that is using drone technology to replicate one of nature's most vital job roles, pollination.
Each year, farmers in the USA rent bees to pollinate their crops. It's a huge financial outlay that can be hampered by rain and a drop in temperature. However, one tech startup here in New York thinks that it's come up with a solution to give the bees a helping hand.
Bees are a key part of the food chain. Incredibly, they are responsible for pollinating a third of the world's food supply. However, colony collapse has decimated their numbers in the last 10 years. Adam Fine is co-founder and CTO of Dropcopter, a tech-based startup that's created an innovative pollen delivery system with the potential to set the farming world abuzz.
So, Adam, what are farmers struggling with right now?
So right now, there's a big crisis in agriculture where bee pollination is becoming more and more expensive and less available. The bees aren't flying at nighttime and not flying in the cold. And if you don't pollinate it, then you don't have a crop to sell, which means that there's a real need for a supplement. And that's where Dropcopter comes in, because we're the first autonomous pollination service currently available using drone aircraft.
Currently pollinating apples, almonds, cherries and pears, this precise delivery service flies 10 feet above the tree canopy and distributes a guaranteed specific gram per acre amount of pollen to the tree, fertilizing 40 acres per hour.
Long term, we see something called a drone-in-the-box solution, where it would live on the farm as an automated platform that would open itself up, refill itself, fly itself, and recharge every time.
And is there a preset flight path?
So when you're writing a mission, you're going to bring up something not unsimilar from a Google map. And what this does is automatically plan the pathway and altitude for the drone at the optimal speed and optimal height above the tree to get the pollen exactly where you want it.
And so what's been the experience so far when you've used it?
In apples, we're seeing an increase in the size due to the King Bloom application we're doing, where we only pollinate the largest flowers. And that's usually about $1,000 to $3,000 per acre increase in dollar amount.
With drones increasingly becoming a fixture of the farming landscape, this high-tech solution promises to increase yields by 25 to 50% and has the potential to revolutionise food production in the future.
So does that mean then you're going to replace bees?
Well, I don't think anyone would want to fully replace bees. I don't think it's a wise thing to try and remove an environmental process that has been in place for thousands of years. But we are a good augment, especially when bees are less active. So a farmer can reach for us when there is an emergency, when he has less available bees, or when he simply wants to have more control.
To feed our growing population, we need to embrace technological solutions like this one. Solutions that don't replace nature, but work alongside it, improving our farming practices and providing us with a more sustainable future.
After the break, we head to Brazil to experience the latest in digitized tractors. And off to the English countryside, where robots are working alongside farmers.
One of the key things we're trying to achieve is really reduce that footprint that we have on the soil.
We're finding out new ways the global farming community is ready to embrace a high-tech revolution. If agriculture in the coming decades is going to be responsible for feeding 10 billion people, how will technology help? While exciting technologies like VR and aerial farming could revolutionize food production in the future, we want to find out what cutting-edge tech is already here, working in the fields today. Priscilla Brandau is in Brazil to find out which traditional farm machinery has been getting a very digital makeover.
Our new digital age is revolutionizing the face of agriculture, with data collection and cloud computing set to become some of the most important tools for farmers worldwide.
Brazil, it's one of the world's major food producers and exporters, growing more coffee, oranges and cassava than any other country in the world, in an industry worth billions of US dollars annually. And digital tech is playing a key role in helping farm more efficiently and sustainably. I've come to Stara, a leading global agriculture equipment manufacturer in precision farming technology. Gilson Trenepol is their CEO.
What changes did you have to do in the company to be in the cutting-edge technology?
Foi processo que surpreendeu a nós, né? E nós entendemos até com uma certa rapidez de que tanto a indústria que produz o ferro e a que produz a tecnologia.
Stara build cutting-edge tractors, sprayers, planters and seeders that are fitted with infrared sensors that measure how much product is used, the machine's efficiency and the condition of the soil. This data means food can be produced to maximum productivity with less waste. But first, this complex data needs to be analyzed. And that's where Stara's partner, SAP, come in, one of the world's largest business software companies who process the data in real time.
What data is the farmer getting?
Stara have a telemetry system which they have integrated into their machinery, and then provide statistics using our analytical solutions back to the farmer. Basically, the solution can be accessed anywhere, anytime, and through any device.
How important is this technology when we think about the future, when we think about feeding more people?
It's fundamentally a game changer for farmers around the world. Let's take the example of Brazil alone, where there is around 400 million hectares of land which is cultivatable. And here the farmers have to be really empowered so that they can grow to an optimal level with the right usage of chemicals, the right usage of fertilizers, and irrigate it on an appropriate level.
What's the next step for the company?
Sonhar todos os dias e evoluir constantemente. Fazer seu sistema de gestão em tempo real. Com um delay de 2, 3 segundos, isso faz com que as coisas mudem de uma forma fundamental. Nós vamos produzir mais alimentos para o mundo, eu não tenho a menor dúvida. Podem ter certeza.
It seems clouds that process data are just as important as clouds that produce rain to some farmers here in Brazil. The ability to analyze highly accurate real-time data from the field will allow farmers to become more efficient and produce more with less, bringing a whole new dimension to modern agriculture.
Implementing technology on the farm is essential to help produce enough food for the growing global population. But precision agriculture is all about helping the farmer produce more using less resources, reducing the amount of water and chemicals needed, ultimately making our farms more environmentally friendly and efficient.
Greg Foote has traveled to Hampshire in the UK to visit a fourth-generation farmer who believes precision farming is going to reshape our farms.
Today's farms tend to rely on large, cumbersome machines to sow and manage and harvest the crop all year round. Some of them can pack serious tech under the hood, but with big advances in artificial intelligence, in robotics and autonomous vehicles in other industries, could we apply them to commercial farming and revolutionise the way that farmers interact with the land? The small robot company wants to radically change the machines farmers use. Crowdfunding over $1 million from more than 1,000 investors, this agri-tech startup is hot property. Hey Sam.
Hey Greg.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, looking forward to this.
Good.
So, tell me about your story.
Just over 2 years ago, I could see that the farm was failing financially, and we were also failing in the way we interacted with the environment. And the key to both of those things was the machinery that we were using. Big, heavy tractors, lots of cultivation equipment, but the cost of machinery has increased significantly over that time. And big, heavy equipment causes this issue of compaction. So compaction is basically causing a hard layer of soil beneath the surface through which the roots can't penetrate. And then that means that the root is pulling in less moisture, less nutrients, and it will achieve a lower yield. Yeah. Well, if we didn't take the heavy machinery on in the first place, then we would save money by not needing the cultivation. The soil health would then increase. Those roots will be going deeper, and so there'll be more biomass in that plant. Yeah. The plant will achieve more.
Yeah. And that, I guess, is where the small robot company came from, the idea to lower those costs of production and of farming and massively reduce the impact that you're having on the land.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it could just be so powerful, which is what's so exciting about it. Oh, hang on a minute, we're getting interrupted. This is one of the small robots, I'm assuming.
This is Tom.
Hey Tom, nice to meet you.
This is our monitoring robot. The idea with Tom is he's going to go out into a field and he will digitise the growing crop.
Tom can take high-quality pictures of every plant in the field. Lightweight and autonomous, he tracks the health of the crop and the weeds. But also, it's coming along here, there are no tracks.
Yeah.
You know, compare that to the tram lines behind us that are really ingrained.
Of course, it's one of the key things we're trying to achieve is really reduce that footprint that we have on the soil.
So Tom's out taking photos, monitoring this field. Can we join Tom on his work?
Yeah, we'll let him carry on.
All right.
Every day of the year, 24 hours a day, there's a constant stream of data sent back to Wilma. And Wilma is the boss, the brains of the operation.
Right.
She's gathering the data that comes in from Tom. She's using artificial intelligence to analyse it, so understanding what Tom's looking at and enabling the farmer to make decisions that are based on, on the data in the field.
So this is artificial intelligence, robotics, autonomy, all being applied to the farm.
Yeah, we've taken a lot on.
Now operating on 20 UK farms and 10,000 hectares of land, they're trying to demonstrate the tech at scale and show they can cut farmers' costs. At HQ, Joe Olnott is the company's lead roboticist. Right, I'm excited to see some of this data put together.
Yeah, OK, so I'll show you some of the data we collected. So this is a field opposite the farm we've been working at.
Oh, right.
As you zoom in to levels where you might want to see which plants are growing, of course.
I mean, you can't see anything.
It becomes quite blurred.
Yeah.
This area over here, you can see a few stripes of data that we collected.
Is that Tom's previous trips?
Yeah, that's right. So if I zoom on in, we can just keep on going, basically. So.
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah. You can see there the grass and the clover, and you can clearly distinguish between the two.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And this is a level of detail that it's hard to achieve with anything else. So even drones struggle to get down to this level of detail.
You've got to be on the ground, haven't you?
Yeah. Once we've trained the AI with that data, the AI can then automatically alert the farmer to items of interest within the field.
But their innovations don't stop there. Joining Tom in the future will be 2 further robots, Dick and Harry.
Wow, look at that. That's a little bit bigger than Tom.
Yes, yeah, considerably. This robot here is our prototype that is going to be the base for both Dick and Harry. So this chassis will be common to the 2 robots, and the robots have different tooling to achieve the job that they need to do.
So Dick is your precision weeder?
Yeah.
Using data from Wilma, combined with onboard camera and sensor technology, Dick Robot will be able to identify and apply precise amounts of fertiliser to individual crop plants or tiny amounts of chemicals to weeds. What do you think the numbers are going to be on the savings?
There could be up to a 90% reduction on chemical use, and yeah, that could make a huge difference.
Massive, yeah. Harry Robot gives a farmer the ability for super accurate drilling with minimal soil disturbance, avoiding churn and compaction, making maximum use of the land available.
When we come to planting with the Harry Robot, we can start to think about individual seeds going into the ground and making decisions on a plant-by-plant basis.
Seriously exciting tech. So yeah, cheers, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
With the demand for food only set to increase in the future, we need to find more sustainable, economic and efficient ways to grow and harvest our food. Embracing precision farming with smart robot tech like this would not only reduce the amount of overspraying and the energy that we use, it would also protect the soil and increase the yield. What we could be looking at here is the dawn of a farming revolution.
So we've seen how artificial intelligence, robotics, and data analytics are beginning to be integrated into our farming technologies. Will this be enough to help with the challenges of global food supply in years to come?
How do we farm more with less, making the right decisions, using the right techniques that are both good for the farmer from a financial standpoint and good for the environment, and making sure that we're doing the right thing moving forward. That's the big challenge that we have to overcome, and hopefully technology can be a big contributor to solving that problem.
There isn't going to be just one technology that solves all of our growing food demand problems. But it does seem that by continuing to combine the multi-generational farming know-how of yesterday with the brilliant technological minds of today, we'll go a long way towards finding solutions. Cutting-edge technologies, from modeling big data to machine learning to the Internet of Things, are all fueling a second green revolution. Learn more with Follow the Food on BBC World News.